it's the first tweet that we've read in a while that reminds us that Deshaun Watson wants out. And it reminds me what are we in now? Late May? So late January was when this whole thing really started with him. Late January. Late January is when we got confirmation that he wanted out. That's when the day that David Culley was announced as a new head coach was the day that the headline was Deshaun Watson confirms trade request. And that day, I lost my mind on the air at the Texans, and I was fully in Deshaun Watson's corner. I'll be honest with you, I read this tweet from Pelissero right now, this part where Watson has denied wrongdoing related to recent lawsuits, which has slowed the process of sorting out his future, but his position hasn't changed. Watson wants out of Houston. I read that tweet yesterday, and I was interested to see what my visceral reaction would be, and my visceral reaction was good riddance. Over Deshaun Watson now. That's where I'm at, and I think we've put up polls about this. And the polls seem to indicate that the people voting in that's the trend with Texan fans, too, is whereas in January and February, they were fully in Deshaun Watson's corner. Now, I think for a variety of reasons, part of it is you do get to a point where you go through the 5 stages of grief and you start to accept it. And you're like, all right, if you don't want to be here, you signed a contract. See you later. We're going to move on. They're still my team. They're very dysfunctional. They've made a ton of bad decisions, but they're still my team. And then the other thing is okay, Deshaun, who are you to be saying who are you to be saying okay, this is a dysfunctional environment when apparently you've been running your personal life with a great deal of dysfunction.
Well, and there's an interesting dynamic too, where I think for a lot of fans, I think myself included in that, I blame the Texans for a lot of the stuff that led to various players wanting to leave the Texans. And various people really not being happy with Jack Easterby. It's not just Deshaun Watson. But what happens now is Deshaun wanting to leave, it creates kind of a convenient release for the fans from the moral hazard of cheering for Deshaun Watson.
If he were to want to be here.
Yeah, you don't have to bargain with yourself now. Hey, okay, I got to support Deshaun Watson despite all this, or what do I do?
What do I do with this jersey?
It's a Roberto Osuna conundrum solved for you. Yeah. Where you don't have to do that little deal within yourself where you realize okay, well, I feel strongly about the sex crimes and allegations and whatnot, but I also really like my team. You just don't have to think about it anymore, which I think for a lot of people, it's whether they consciously acknowledge that or not, it's a little bit of a, if not a good riddance, okay, all right, I'm mad at the Texans for botching so many things from these last 2 years, but let's clear the deck and move on at this point.
Yeah.